Welcome back, YouTube. This is episode, I believe, 45, but it may be 46. Don't hold me to it. It may even be 47. But, our current champions is Dolph Ziggler's brother, Ryan Nemeth, the Grand Champion, Finn Balor, Knockouts Tag Team Champion, the Heavy Metal Sisters. Last time they held a title was in September of 2024. Before then, before the week 2 of December, they hadn't held one since September of 2024. The Knockouts World Champion is Tony Storm. World Champion is the Devious Hill, Sadistic Hill, Ace Austin. And then the Marshall Von Erich and Ross Von Erich, which is the Von Erichs, are two-time World Tag Team Champions for 42 days. And then current X Division Champion, Lucky Ollie. Okay, we're here on Tuesday, week 1. We're about to do Thunder. Okay, for the opener, we have Christina Von Erich versus Aaliyah James for 15. And then we have The Rock and Chris Jericho swapping insults back and forth for 69. Okay. We also have Adam Page and Andrade giving Jeff Jarrett their titles with a stroke. The Mavericks win the tag team titles for 55. Roderick Strong joins commentary. We see a match of Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. And AJ Styles defeated Samoa Joe with a springboard 450 splash for 63. And then Ace Austin and Batista attack Roderick Strong after the match for 51. Okay, Andrade holds a promo for an 83. Ace Austin says that he will defeat Austin Theory. He doesn't care if it's on an A show, a B show, a pay-per-view, a premium live event. It could be on a non-taped show. He will still beat him. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. Finn Balor makes defense number 7 of the TNA Grand Title for 59. And AJ Styles sustained cracked ribs. Malachi Black versus Jeff Jarrett. Malachi Black defeated Jeff Jarrett with a black mask for 49. And then The Rock comes out and he's just making fun of Chris Jericho's ability to wrestle. He's making fun of his looks, his charisma. He's making fun of his entrance theme, everything. And then here it is, the main event. Austin Theory defeated Ace Austin with an A-Town down due to Batista wasn't at ringside. And because Austin Theory used brass knuckles. Okay, so Bully Ray vs. Christian Cage opens the show to TNA Impact for 44. An angle featuring Toni Storm where she announces that she will be doing in-ring action tonight. And then Toni Storm versus Shayna Baszler. Toni Storm defeated Shayna Baszler for a 70. That is not bad. And with a strong 0. An angle featuring Bryan Danielson doing merchandising gets an 82. And then we see Heather Hesketh take the IWGP Women's title off of Denny Jackson for a 43. Chris Jericho holds an angle and where he says that he's the greatest wrestler of all time. And then we see Finn Balor and Ryan Nemeth versus the Dirty Hills for a 60. Finn Balor pinned Bobby Roode with a coup de grace. Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson defeated Chris Jericho with a cattle mutilation after a distraction from The Rock for a 70. And it looks like Chris Jericho had an in-ring performance of 49 and Bryan Danielson had an in-ring performance of 81. The Rock is seen verbally making fun of Chris Jericho after the match. And then Ace Austin and Batista attack Austin Theory. Wonder what happened to the match. But it gets a 60. Okay, we're here on Thursday, week 2, getting ready for Thunder. Excuse me, we're actually getting ready for Impact. Okay, Tony Storm welcomes the show to Impact for 70. We see Alex Crowley versus Denny Jackson. Alex Crowley actually... Okay, we have Paul London versus AJ Styles for 51. AJ Styles defeated Paul London with the Styles Clash. And we have Chris Jericho saying that he's the greatest wrestler of all time. Lethal Injection versus Alex Shelley and the Goliath Black Taurus. Adam Brooks pinned Alex Shelley with the Swanton for a 63. Rick Perry gets on the microphone and holds a promo saying about how good the Team Lethal Injection is. And then The Rock comes out and puts a frown on both of Lethal Injection's faces. And then Adam Page and Andrade win their tag team titles back for a 57. And then Paul London holds an angle. Oof. The Von Erichs versus the Rascals for a 73. The Von Erichs make defense number 3 of the TNA World Tag Team titles. Okay, Ace Austin defeated Bobby Roode with a submission with a sharpshooter after Marshall Von Erich turned on Bobby Roode. During the match, we also had Ross Von Erich interfere in the match as well, putting the Von Erichs in the Ace Club. Oof. It was a disaster, it says. And then afterwards, Ace Austin, Batista, Marshall Von Erich, and Ross Von Erich stand in the ring and holds a promo like you've never heard before. The show increased our popularity in 4 regions. Not bad at all. Okay, Paige Vincent welcomes the crowd to Thunder. And then we have Jeff Jarrett saying that the Von Erichs will take on the Dirty Hills for a 57 and that the Von Erichs are to put their titles on the line. Okay. The Von Erichs make defense number 4 of the World Tag Team titles following an interference from Batista. Ryan Nemeth drew with Chris Danger in a double countout for a 33. And then Ace Austin versus Dolph Ziggler for a 74. Ace Austin defeated Dolph Ziggler with the fold. Not bad. Okay, we have Denny Jackson versus Jamie Rhodes for the first match. And Dean Jackson defeated Jamie Rhodes with a high kick. And then Christina Von Eerie versus Addie Starr. And Christina Von Eerie defeated Addie Starr with a code breaker for a 32. We have Chris Jericho coming out saying that he's the greatest. And then we have Marshall Von Erich versus Christian Cage. Marshall Von Erich defeated Christian Cage with a moonsault for a 50. And then we have Ace Austin versus Laredo Kid for a 73. Okay, Paige Van Zandt opens... And Paige Van Zandt and Josh Matthews opens the show for a 36. And then it's James Storm versus Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson defeated James Storm for a 61. Brock Lesnar and Christian Cage hold a promo. And it's merchandising. The Rock and Edge are sharing good times. Memories. Dolph Ziggler defeated Dustin Rhodes in 10 minutes and 8 seconds for a 46, which is not bad. And then we have Brock Lesnar defeating Axel Dieter Jr. in 13 minutes and 36 seconds with a Kimura lock. And then Ace Austin, Batista, Marshall Von Erich, and Ross Von Erich all hold a promo for an 83, declaring that whoever the first contender is that wins tonight to become first contender will not win at the event, and that is Roderick Strong defeating Austin Theory with a stronghold for 51. Not bad. But Ace Austin versus Chris Jericho for a 59. That didn't click well. I bet that match killed. Yep, it killed the whole show. Okay, Christian Cage and Finn Balor opened the show for 55. Tony Storm and Brock Lesnar holds an angle. It's not a bad angle. It gets an 80. An angle featuring Austin Theory and Christian Cage gets a 44. Cash Wheeler and Chris Jericho holds an 81. And then Camille versus Kerry Bristow versus Shayna Baszler versus Tony Storm for a 70. Tony Storm pinned Shayna Baszler with a strong 0. And then Chris Jericho versus Austin Theory. Austin Theory defeated Chris Jericho when The Rock interfered. Ace Austin holds a promo for 100. The Rock makes fun of Chris Jericho for 100. And then DIY versus the Rascals for a 73. Johnny Gargano pinned Trey Miguel with a meeting in the middle. And then Ace Austin versus Matt Vandegrift, where they had a 30-minute Iron Man match. And Ace Austin won 3 falls to none for a 75. Ooh, the show got a 70. That is a beautiful show. Okay. We see Heather Hesketh versus Killer Kelly for the opening match for the Premium Live event. And then we see Matt Vandegrift versus Jake Christ, when Matt Vandegrift defeated Jake Christ with a butterfly suplex. And then The Rock and Tony Storm hold an angle in which The Rock acknowledges that Tony Storm is probably one of the greatest women's champion that TNA has ever seen. And then we have Finn Balor versus Jeff Hardy with an interference from Shinsuke Nakamura, who makes his debut. And then we have Chris Jericho versus The Rock. Chris Jericho defeated The Rock with the Walls of Jericho for a 61. Not bad at all. And then we have Tony Storm versus Saraya. Tony Storm makes defense number 4 of the TNA Knockouts World title for a 73. And then Ryan Nemeth versus Chris Danger. Chris Danger wins the TNA Digital Media title for 37. And we see Shinsuke Nakamura and Cash Wheeler embracing that Shinsuke is Nakamura's debut. The Von Erichs versus DIY versus the Rascals when Marshall Von Erich submitted Johnny Gargano with an Iron Claw after interference from Batista. And then we have Ace Austin versus Roderick Strong. Ace Austin makes number 10, defense number 10 of the TNA World title. Whoops. Marshall Von Erich and Ross Von Erich starts attacking Roderick Strong, while Ace Austin brings a metal chair into the ring and sits in it, watching. And then Jeff Jarrett comes out, his iconic theme song. And he says, well, there's somebody else back here that would love a match tonight. He says, and due to that you believe you're a strong champion, you wouldn't have no reason to get yourself out of this match, right? And Ace Austin knows he done hasn't lost. And it's Randy Orton! Randy Orton wins the TNA World title for an 80 in his first match. And then the show increased our popularity in 8 regions. Okay, that was a successful Premium Live event. But tonight, we're going to stop it here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, your family, and don't forget, share it with your dog.